Hello everyone, hope you all are in the best of your health and spirits. We are all set for yet another exciting conversation today. For our new audiences today, the We Talk series brings to you the most sought after voices from the industry and for the industry who share their valuable insights with us over a brief conversation about what's going on in the HR ecosystem, what's new to come, and most importantly, what's keeping HR leaders on their toes. Today we have another special guest joining us. Please join me in welcoming her. She is Rashmi Sinha, Director Talent Acquisition at Getfareye. Rashmi comes
Hello.
with 20 years of experience, steeped in strong strategic and operational leadership across HR services. She has successfully led organization-wide transformation initiatives and designed and created structures and processes to enable organizational effectiveness and growth. Prior to Farai, Rashmi was heading HR for SG Global Services, an IT organization working on financial products. With that, a very warm welcome, Rashmi. It is indeed a very good thing to have you with us today.
Great. Hi, Visaki. It's a pleasure meeting you here and really would like to share thoughts on today's topics.
Great. So, to start off with today's discussion, Rashmi, my first question for you would be how is your industry tackling the changes that the workplace has undergone, say, over the past couple of years? If you could share a brief overview with us.
Absolutely. So, as well said, last couple of years has been a drastic shift with COVID coming in. It was a perfect storm, and the complete corporate ecosystem was shaken away. Entire companies, all the global companies, not only in India, but entire global companies struggled to manage, where all the manual actions were transformed and automation took the place. So there at that COVID scenario where the demand was higher, the supply was lesser, because when we specifically talk about talent were more focused on being stable with whatever they were in. They did not want to risk their job at that point in time. So we really struggled the crisis of getting the right talent at right place. And at the same time, Farai as an organization during the virtual scenario, when the entire need of logistic and delivery shifted, everybody wanted the deliveries to be done at their home rather than moving out in an open space. So the need of a platform like Farai bumped up into 2x ways. So our business increased, and with the increase in business, the right talent need was an urgent need for Farai. So it was a big struggle where we had to transform the complete manual face-to-face interview process into automated process, where we came up with Zoom, Google Meet, and other such channels where we made these virtual interviews to happen, which is very normal in today's scenario after 2 years. All the desktops were transformed into laptops. As an organization, Farai, we established a very well-structured model with all the processes in place so that we could get all the associates to perform with the same level of efficiency, but being at a very safe and a stable location of their own choice, which included majorly work from their home. But now with the changing scenario, Farai has shifted from full-time work from home to a work from office and a hybrid model. We have overseas location also where hybrid model is in action right now. And it was very much required, as you know, there was a lot of cultural and operational change. So we started the, in time connects with our people so that they get accustomed to this new change in the force of action that we had. And work from anywhere was easier for few people, but was not easier for the techies, especially where they were so very used to work in groups. They were used to do brainstorming sessions and coming out resolutions to the queries and solutions that they had at the client side. But yes, it was well managed, and Farai had been able to onboard 100 plus such techies in the OND 2021 quarter, and we balanced our diversity ratio also at the same time when we were doing this massive hiring, where our male to female ratio has been 1:2 right now. So moving to the next step, not only getting the talent on board was our agenda, but at the same time sustaining and keeping them equally motivated. So as a next step with this changing scenario and the shift in the corporate environment, Farai is into taking up the next step, which is learn from anywhere, where we have introduced a lot of specific skill learning on a CBT platform, many libraries, the virtual libraries that we have taken over to grow and keep our employees engaged despite when they're working from anywhere. So yes, there was a cultural change, there was a complete shift in the environment, but yes, as an organization, Parai, we have been coping up and we've been doing well on that.
I believe, COVID has actually shaken the entire ecosystem altogether across organization. And what seems, challenging 2 years back, I think it has become very much normal right now. In fact, it has opened a lot of new avenues for organizations to venture out also, which I believe is a very good thing indeed going forward. Rashmi, thank you for highlighting these points. Moving forward, I would like to know that, what are some of the most prominent challenges that, organizations in India are facing to utilize the gig economy at its full potential? What's your take on that?
Okay, gig economy. This is a new philosophy that has been acquired by the corporate in India and in global space as well. It has its own benefits and cons as well. For the corporate, where huge amount of it gives a huge amount of flexibility to the organization and individuals both. Individuals can choose where to work, when to work, which organization to work, till which time to work. They can actually pick up their own time zone and the work of their own need. At the same time, this gig economy has provided an opportunity for the organizations to, choose people for the specific time zone and their task, and shed off their deep responsibility of compliances and employee benefits. So it is a win-win solution for both employees and organizations. But when you typically ask for India, it is not very successful because there are multiple challenges if you actually move into this specific gig economy culture, because it does not allows the companies, it has a less social protection. It does not give the level of perk that is supposed to be paid in this gig economy. In If you talk about global space, yes, gig economy has been successful because they get paid per hour wise, they get billed as per the task they do. But in India, where we have a mindset that we look for social securities, we look for better stability, we look for benefits like health insurance, medical insurance, paid leaves, and stuff like that. There, our ecosystem in India, our outdated regulatory framework in India doesn't make it very successful, and hence resulting in a less job security and a marginal return for any individual who enters this space. So yes, and at the same time, it brings in a lot of loneliness and self-paced work, which is not a fundamental actions for our Indian techies. So they love to work with people, they love to work and discuss it with people. Loneliness is working alone in a silo is not something that they can perform at their best. So yes, the bad service conditions, reduced and deducted pay cuts, untransparent calculations that's been made, and absence of compliance regulatory for these contractual resources makes it a little difficult for the gig economy to be a little successful in India. But I'm pretty sure if we really work on our compliance zone, where PF, ESI, gratuity, your leaves, your other compliances get well structured from the government side, then probably in India, gig economy is going to be very successful.
Undoubtedly, you've shared some quite interesting points, Rashmi. Definitely, these are some areas that one needs to have a look, and especially the loneliness part that you have been talking about. It has been a major issue for a lot of, job profiles over the last 2 years. So moving forward, if I may ask you, you've already mentioned that how at Farah, it was initially work from home and then, work from office, and now it's a hybrid culture that you're following. So, how have your employee engagement strategies evolved over these past 2 years, especially when we talk about remote and hybrid work setup?
Okay, so engagement, if you precisely ask, at Farai and me, it gets divided into two phases. One, when we do engagement with the candidates, that's post-offer pre-onboarding engagement, where our main intent is to build trust in that individual and a faith that this organization is one place that cares for you and caters to your professional and career growth. The second phase of engagement is one that candidate transforms into an employee and in the organization, where our responsibility begins to live to the commitments that we have given to the candidate pre-joining. So being as a talent head here, post of a pre-onboarding engagement falls primarily into my kitty. So there we have evolved with multiple connect points with the candidates so that we stay connected. Some initiatives like, coffee with the candidate on a bi-weekly basis with cross-functional leaders, not only his or her reporting manager, but the cross-functional leaders to give a better visibility that what's the vision of our organization, what's the mode of action that each department practices and follows, which gives a complete cultural overview to that particular candidate. As a practice, we assign a buddy to these candidates 15 days prior to the joining, and this buddy is actually a person or a colleague in his team or from a different team, which helps that individual to actually onboard in this organization related to the onboarding activities, form filling, the pre-required documentations. So a journal chit chat session with the buddy does happen 15 days prior to this joining. We also have a culture of meeting the team where a week prior to a person joining, where we are very sure that this person is joining, we do have a formal connect with the entire team where this person comes, meet and greets with the complete team, shakes hands so that he or she is very comfortable when he comes inside the organization and starts working with them. So he knows at least few faces and names in the organization to make him more easy and cozy, because in a virtual space you don't see a person, you do not physically interact with the person. It's only those chatbots and Google chats that you interact with the person. So face-to-face interaction before stepping down in the organization always helps. Few casual connects by our HR team, which details about the benefits, the support, a few other internal organizational initiatives like health and wellness campaigns that we keep running. We extend it to our people who have not yet joined the organization. A very good initiative that FARI follows is you refer before you join. So you can refer a candidate before you join, and on your joining, you get all the referral benefits of a regular employee. Once you join for a referral which you have actually made before you join this organization. So that's again a catch point where your trust is actually shown, because you will only refer a company to a candidate where you are confident on.
Right.
So indirect branding the organization, soft connect by HR. So these are few connects that we have been doing for the candidates who have been offered but are yet to onboard. And there was a precise RAG report which was developed, and those red, amber, green cases. So red cases were paid special attention to shift their interest to far right. At the same time, there was post-offer or an employee engagement where initiatives were done by HR on their learn and grow perspective, where different libraries and LMS and repositories were launched and given to them. There were MDPs, management development programs, done virtually for the managers to keep them with a healthy mindset that they also, it becomes difficult to operate a big team of 20-25 people sitting virtually and catering to everybody's responses on time. So we had sessions like MDP lead was a mentoring leadership program. There was a Vyaktitva program that was happened for the new managers through IAMS Noida. There were multiple wellness and health campaigns that we did virtually to say, to keep our employees engaged. We also had a virtual family day where we had time to say hello, like initiative. We also had a talent hunt where, even if you don't do anything, but your family member do something. So you have your daughter, your kids dancing and showing their talent there. Fun activities like racing to Lanka, finding a Santa. So all these initiatives actually involve the employees, give an opportunity, a window for to interact with each other, not only just for work, but also for fun element, which created a bond among these people even while sitting in a virtual space.
It's some really great initiatives undertaken. What I can, figure out from what you said right now. With that, I'll move on to the last question that I have, Rashmi. So, I would like to know, can you share some of the most prominent challenges that you have faced in the talent acquisition space, and most importantly, what were your strategies to overcome them?
Okay, so the challenge that primarily everybody in this industry do face to attract the right set of talent is, what a candidate looks for. For example, if I being a candidate and comes across, the first thing that I would look for is what is it in for me. So this organization, does it caters to my professional growth? Does it caters to my personal growth or not? So to cope up and keep this particular question answered for all individual, we have acquired competency-based interviewing skills. And the pre-work to this particular initiative was we defined a set of competencies for all roles and levels in this organization and a clear progression path for each level and band. So once this was defined, we had our interviewing skills, which was competency linked, and while evaluating any talent who is being sitting for a FRI process, were evaluated on those competencies, and post onboarding the person was given those competency rating in the system. So he or she was very well aware that where do I stand in terms of my skill and knowledge, where do I need to grow to jump to the next level or to the next target, right? So this gives a very clear visibility to every talent stepping into FRI that what is in for me, where do I grow? And so my first and prime question was answered by this particular step of defining competencies in this organization, that the talent is stepping at the right platform for a right career progression for him or her. Other few challenges that every talent acquisition does face is the success ratio, is this transforming all the offers into onboarding. So there's where we, need to have a healthy engagement. We need to not only sell the organization, but to develop that trust and faith in the individual that he is totally, inclined towards joining your organization without a second thought. Any counter offer, any next level money cannot buy that trust. So for that, as I've already mentioned before also, we did different levels of engagement with these people to keep them engaged, to keep them involved, and know FRI before they step in. So once you know the organization from inside, from the terms of growth, from the terms of culture, from the perspective of your personal and career growth, you definitely have that blind faith and trust to step in that organization, irrespective you are leading down a counter offer of a lakh or two, right? Other challenges have been very general. Again, demand supply is one big challenge in India. The talent, the need of the talent is growing on an everyday basis, and the supply, as in the skilled labor in the market, is not pacing up to that with that frequency. So the demand supply challenge is very normal in Indian market, and that's been defined by Conan Ferry study also, that by 2020, by 2030, the demand of the skills will outstrip the supply, resulting in global talent shortage for multiple millions of people. So not only that study, we are facing it in our today's scenario also. For any niche or high level skill category, when we start searching for a talent, we actually had to struggle between few, two, three, four people who sit with multiple counter offer. So it becomes difficult to transform them, influence them, because then at that point in time, they're money driven. So to transform a person from a money-driven approach to an organization-driven approach is the major challenge that every talent acquisition guy does faces, and Farai also is facing the same. But yes, as I said, we have onboarded 100 plus techies in 2020 OND quarter, so that proves that we have been able to transform the thought process of the people and enforce that yes, Farai is a great place to work at, not only renowned by the organization, but also by the culture, by the technologies that we practice and the work that we do.
Thank you, Rashmi, for sharing your share of challenges that you have encountered, in this particular space, and most importantly, the strategies you have applied to overcome them. So this brings us to the end of this conversation. Once again, thank you, Rashmi, so much for sharing these amazing insights with us. I absolutely loved conversing with you, and I hope our viewers will resonate with it too. Thank you once again, and we will be back with yet another exciting conversation next week. Till then, stay safe, everyone, and have a lovely week ahead.